All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to the elect which in this word in truth and in sincerity. With the hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son. The so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent juice is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus, is about to make his return upon earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I'm going to go straight into this lesson. It's not going to be long. He's just showing you the state of the world right now. And a lot of people is rising up against their leaders. And right now it's at the stage of just protest, but it's going to get violent. Gradually, you're going to have seditions, you're going to have civil unrest. And we have been saying these things for quite a while now, but it falls on deaf ears, So let's jump straight into it. We hope that this is edifying.
It's accusing the Trump administration of threatening the country's democratic ideals. It is the second wave of protests this month after similar demonstrations drew hundreds of thousands of people to the streets. Organisers say they're protesting against President Donald Trump's constitutional and civil rights violations.
The time is now. Democracy is really fragile. I've seen it around the world, how quickly a democracy can crumble, and I really hope it won't happen here.
Knowing that if I don't do anything and everybody doesn't do something to change this, that the world that we collectively are leaving for the little children, for our neighbors, is simply not one that I would want to live in.
Must go now! Trump must go now! In the name of humanity! In the name of humanity! We refuse! We
refuse! Jim must have bought a go with so far about madness, yo. Yes. So this right now is protest that took place in Israel.
This Saturday night, the world reacts to a new economic reality as Trump tariffs spread.
Hands off Greenland. That's an independent country. Hands off Canada.
So do protests on the streets and from international manufacturers. Plus, the new documents that show the original U.S. tariffs had little to do with border security.
He really didn't have much interest in knowing what's going on.
Campaign trail promises, the Liberals on trades, the Conservatives on red tape, and the NDP on the doctor shortage. And
Alex Ovechkin has Wayne Gretzky get ahead.
One goal away from bringing down
With what Donald Trump is doing.
To Paris.
He's upending economies of some of the poorest countries in the world on a whim. What do you say?
Everybody else, even penguins, were affected by the tariffs.
As Americans also grapple with the dismantling of government agencies with hundreds of thousands of federal job cuts.
Haven't seen a plan that this is making things more efficient. I've just seen that it is going to lead to more chaos and people really not having their needs met.
This global show of solidarity comes as Trump's unilateral 10% tariffs on nearly all imports take effect.
What we have is a set of tariffs based on what they've been charging us. That's reciprocal. We put ourselves in the driver's seat.
The fallout from Trump's tariffs have been swift, causing deep declines in the U.S. stock market and stoking fears of a global recession. In a phone conversation Saturday, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and French President Emmanuel Macron vowed to, quote, closely coordinate their positions in tariff talks with Trump as both leaders hope to negotiate better trade terms. In a surprising departure from Trump's enthusiasm for tariffs, Elon Musk told an Italian deputy prime minister,
I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America.
While the world holds its breath and wallets to see what happens next, British automaker Jaguar Land Rover is already pausing shipments to the U.S. for a month to figure out how to deal with Trump's 25% levies on all auto imports. Candace Cole, Global News, Washington.
The U.S. Department of Commerce has signaled duties on Canadian softwood lumber could more than double later this year. Following an administrative review, the department says Canadian lumber producers could see combined duties rise to more than 34% compared to the current 14.4%. Canadian officials have said any increase would harm workers on both sides of the border. Meanwhile, the federal government has quietly updated its online travel advice for Canadians heading to the U.S. Official guidance now warns of the significant discretion U.S. border officers now have when it comes to deciding who enters their country, including the power to search phones and laptops. As the U.S. tariff situation. To the campaign trail now, and a promise from the Liberal leader, one he says will make the Canadian economy more resilient. Mark Carney took advantage of a photo op at a training centre near Toronto, vowing to invest millions for trade apprenticeship programs. Mackenzie Gray kicks off our election coverage tonight.
Yeah, it was easier to pull the pint.
While he tried his hand as a crane operator,
What's my coffee break?
Mark Carney isn't likely to quit his day job anytime soon, hoping for more qualified operators.
Thank you.
Introducing his new plan to try and encourage more people to give the trades a shot.
We are not just...
And tens of thousands of protesters have gathered across the United States and other parts of the world to demonstrate against U.S. President Donald Trump's policies. The hands-off rallies, as they're known, voiced opposition to President Trump's plans to downsize the U.S. government, reshape human rights, and his handling of economic issues. Marches also took place in Britain, Canada, France, Germany, Mexico, as well as Portugal. One of the biggest rallies was held in Washington, where Democrat Congressman Jamie Raskin accused Mr. Trump and Tesla owner Elon Musk of trying to tear down the American Constitution.
I believe Donald Trump is trying to tear our country down. The only thing that makes sense is he is working on the behalf of Putin. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. I mean, the things that he's doing is not trying to make America better. He's ruining our infrastructure, like every department in our government. He's ruining, and he's right now destroying our economy. He's taken away all of our allies. We're a pariah in the world. And Congress sits back and does nothing. And we have to stand up and take our country back.
For me, the moment that I knew something was off was...
Alright. Don't you know? So, I just wanted you to see the impact where these tariffs have. You have a lot of people protesting, and as I have said, they've not start feel the ripple effect of these tariffs as yet. Couple months in, people are gonna start really understand what's going on, in the terms of the high cost of living. But let's dive straight back into it. So this is Second Esdras 9 verse 1. And it read, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the ice will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproar of the people in the world. And this tariff situation will transpire now between various countries around the world. Not just tariff, but various sanctions being put. So like various sanctions being put on various countries around the world. Have a crippling effect on the economies around the world. And the main persons that are going to be affected by this is the consumers, the common man. Verse 4, Then shall thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world at a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and ending in effects and signs. That's what's playing out now before your eyes, but you don't understand.
I wish he was our president. I knew at that time, I started crying because I knew it was something big. And I know that this is a historical moment today that I'm going to
get violent.
And while taking a firm stand on the mob attacks on KFC restaurants in the country, the Pakistan government has said that targeting a foreign company is unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Addressing a press conference, Pakistan's Interior Minister Talal Chaudhary said the state has the responsibility to protect both local and foreign investors, and any attack on these businesses will be treated as a terrorist act.
Around 20 attacks on KFC outlets have been reported across Pakistan, which are regrettable and unacceptable. Tragically, a KFC employee lost his life in Sheikhupura. Clear instructions have been issued to all provinces to ensure public safety.
The minister also pointed out that global food chains like KFC have invested over $100 million in Pakistan and pay all their due taxes, unlike local businesses that evade taxes. Further, he added that over 25,000 families depend on KFC for their income. And this comes after one person was killed following violent protests that targeted the American food chain KFC. The minister said that over 145 people have been arrested so far. A 45-year-old kitchen staff member at KFC was shot on April 14th during one of the protests in the city of Sheikhupura. This was on the outskirts of Lahore. Now, videos on social media showed mobs armed with iron rods entering KFC stores and threatening to burn them down before police arrived to make arrests. Mob attacks were held in KFC outlets across Pakistan.
So as I can see, you know, not even KFC is safe, yo. But as I say, this is the world that we're living in now, whether you like it or not. So as I say, I'm not gonna make this video long. I just wanted to show you what's going on around the world. So this is 2 Ezra 15 verse 14. It's a woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And this is the spirit that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is putting in the midst of the earth right now, yo. More so America. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition amongst men, and sedition means uprising against the authority, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the kings and princes represent their elected officials. They shall not listen their rhetoric anymore, yo. And the course of their action shall stand in their power. And these are the times, as I have said, we are coming into. And if you're not aware of the state of the world, when certain things start transpire, you're gonna be caught out there, yo. So I hope this was very fine, quick and straight to the point. With that, I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kodash. Shalom.